Record. All right, welcome to the training, guys. And I want to thank you for being on this live training. And I'm really excited. I'm always excited about these trainings, selfishly because I get a chance to talk about things and I get to hear myself talk, which who doesn't like to hear themselves talk. But more importantly, because we are going to be doing a lot more of these live trainings on a weekly basis. I thought about what was really our differentiating factor and what was the thing that we could really bring the most value to our community, and that was through live training. So we're going to be doing a lot more of these as over the coming weeks. We're going to have 3 essentially a week, and they're all going to be on different topics so that you can learn things like building an agency, and you can learn things like affiliate marketing, and you can learn things like even I think we're going to do things like SaaS and technical, product knowledge, and there's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to cover over the weeks. But I would really encourage you to hop on live to these, because for a couple of reasons. We're going to be giving away bonuses and lots of free stuff on all of the trainings. So anybody who sticks around to the end, I'm going to be giving everybody here who's live access to my Accelerator sales training, which is like 5 hours of sales training. It has our contracts, our templates, just a bunch of stuff. If you want to really master the sales, game and how to pitch and how to close clients, this is really how to get clients on the phone, how to get prospects on the phone, so that you have an opportunity to close them. But let's talk about why we're here, right? And it's usually for a couple of reasons, right? The number one thing is most people want more clients. And I'm curious for you guys, share with me a little bit about where you're at on your journey. If you're at a 1 where you're brand new and you don't even know if you want to build an agency, you're like, I've heard of these different ways that you can make money online, but I'm just not sold on totally building a marketing agency. But I'm thinking about it. I'm at the very beginning of my journey. That's a 1. If you are at a 10 in your agency and you've had dozens or hundreds of clients, maybe that's a 10. Maybe if you're at a 5, you've had a couple of clients, or you figured out that this is the thing that you want to do. I'm just curious. Let me know in the chat what you guys are where you're at on that journey, because a lot of people, they know that they want to build this online business. They want to build a service-based business. They want to have clients, but the ability to get to that next level, right? Whether that's 4 figures, 5 figures, 6, right? Whatever that next level is possible, right? With the team that you have, with the current knowledge that you have, with the current skills that you have, if you're employing the right tools, and then obviously if you're employing the right strategy, you can really do that. And so I want to let you know that if you're on your way, we're going to help you, right? Second thing is sales is going to be the way that gets you there, okay? A lot of marketers don't realize this, that sales is so important to the success of their business, right? Sales is so important to the success of any business. And I'll talk about it in a bit, but the most important thing that you need to have is sales, right? And so if you don't have a full-time system, if you don't have a full-time person, if you don't have something that is full-time going towards sales, it's going to be really challenging to get enough traction, right? It's going to be really challenging to build up enough business to really sustain yourself. So I think that that's a really, really important part just to realize as well. Let's get back into here. What else do we have? Another thing I thought about, which is why you're probably here, is that they don't teach you sales in school. That wasn't a class that I took, right? That was one class that my college offered. I got a business degree, and that was one class that was in one major that they had them selling raffle tickets. It was something ridiculous. So my point is that they don't teach you this stuff. And so we're gonna talk about those types of things and how to overcome those or how to avoid those things. And if you're new, then that's okay. If you have no clue, that's okay. That's where I was, about 10 years ago is when I started my journey as an entrepreneur, and luckily in sales, which is why I feel so passionate about helping you guys to be able to grow in this area. All right, I stopped the recording so I don't have to be as I don't have to keep talking. I'm going to take a break look at the chat. I'm gonna look at the chat here and then see what questions you guys have. And I see Marcus, he gave me an answer. I haven't seen your guys' answers though, but let me know and make sure it says that you're going to all panelists and attendees. Let me know who is, what stage of your journey are you at as an agency, right? Just what do you feel? I feel, even for me, I'm like, damn, even for me, I feel like I'm at a 3 or a 4. I don't feel like I'm very, far along my journey, even though I've been doing it for, X amount of years and I've had X amount of clients. So it's just a personal kind of thing that I'm curious about as well. And feel free to, I don't think you guys can turn on your videos, huh? That's kind of unfortunate. It doesn't let you turn on your videos unless you're the host. So if anybody has a question, raise your hand and I'll throw that info to you as well. All right, let's get back into it. Here's what we're gonna cover today. Okay, so we're gonna cover, let's go, boom. So here's the agenda for today, right? The first thing we're gonna get into is how to contact leads while you're asleep or while you're at your 9-to-5 job. I know that a lot of people have other jobs. A lot of people have other responsibilities, families, another business. They have other things going on. So the ability to prospect, the ability to go call, be knocking on doors for hours or making cold calls for hours just isn't something that's realistically possible. So we're gonna talk about how to overcome that. We'll also talk about if you suck at sales, the easy way to get people to pay you money, right? And I'll share what happened when I got rejected in 3rd grade for the very first time. So I'll share that story and how that turned into, led into the automated sales system. And then we'll just talk about some simple things that you can be doing every single day to be building your agency in less than 60 minutes. So whether you've got school or whether you've got another job or you've got a family or boyfriend or girlfriend, you're able to really build your agency just like that. Stop. All right, so what's next? Whoops. Let's talk about the one thing that your business is probably missing. So what I want to share with you right now is some of the best advice that I got when I was first starting my business. And it was when I was brand new. I was maybe 18, 19 years old. And I was, sorry if you guys hear that siren. I was really, really struggling in my business. Now, I went on in this particular business and this particular organization to sell over $5 million in revenue over the course of about 3.5 years. We broke numerous records. We were the national championship organization. I trained over 2,000 people, yada, 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 right? Like, and I look over here, like people don't always stop that and then show you here. So there's my national championship trophy right there. There is some of my team that my record breaker plaque broke recently. But that's how I got started, right? And so the reason I say all that is this was before all of that happened, right? This was before I was able to have any success as an entrepreneur. And I was really, really struggling. I remember going to him and I didn't really like the guy, but he was kind of a mentor of mine that was, given to me in this, kind of organization. It was like an MLM sales, network marketing, affiliate marketing thing, however you want to call it. And I went to him for help because it was that bad. And I asked him, like, how do I get my clients to pay me more? How do I get people to, how do I essentially make more money? How do I grow my business, with the clients that I already have? I had a small little base of people that I was working with, and I wanted to be able to take those clients and be able to get them to pay me more, get them to stick around longer. A lot of them would come for a little bit and then they'd leave. And so it was like this roller coaster, this up and down, of business. And I was never able to really get enough traction to be at the level that I wanted, right? To be thriving, to be succeeding, to, do all these other things that I talked about, eventually accomplishing. And so he said, Hector, you just need more clients. And I'm like, no, his name was Dave. I said, no, Dave, I need them to pay me more. I need my clients to stick around longer. Like what I'm doing as a business owner is not currently working. And so what he said was really profound. And he said, Hector, it's just like basketball. You just need to take more shots at the basket. You just need to be able to get more shots, because in business, people don't count how many shots that you miss. People only count the shots that you make. And this takes me back to, I'll share now with you the story, right? When, back in third grade, I got rejected by my third grade crush, and I'll tell you what she ended up doing a little later in the training. But since then, I had been hesitant to really go out and really put myself out there. I had been hesitant to take the initiative to call people, to message people, to go and network. I'd been really hesitant to do that. And at that moment, I realized that was the reason why my business was failing, that was the reason why I wasn't at the place where I wanted to be, because there just wasn't enough people who knew about me. And so because I was brand new, because I wasn't good at sales, because of, frankly, my lack of experience, I had to compensate by just giving myself more shots at the basket. And so from that moment, I just said, I went on a mission to be able to find all of the different avenues for which I could create business, all of the different places where I could find customers and create potential, business relationships, create potential business conversations, sales conversations, right? Whether that was calling people, whether that was, finding people on the internet, that was texting people, that was literally, putting flyers in people's hands and putting them on their doors and their windows, going on Craigslist. Like, I literally found every possible way that I could get myself in front of these potential clients so that I could build my business, so I could have enough success. And that's how, over the course of, those 4 or 5 years or so, we were able to bring over 2,000 people onto our team. We generated over 5 million in revenue. I don't know, we had over 1,000 sales, right? But it all came from the fact that we had this omnipresence, right? For our target market, they knew about us, right? Our target market, like, they absolutely had gotten and seen our company and our offer and our opportunity 5, 10, 15 times over the course of, the timing of it. And so it really came down to this omnipotent, right? Grant Cardone calls it this an omnipotent strategy that allows you to show up everywhere. Whew. All right, I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna see, is anybody with me so far? So just let me know if this is making sense at all, or if this is like, I guess mostly, is this resonating with anybody? Like, does anybody feel like I felt when I was, early on in my business? Even the great thing about being in the webinar style Zoom chat is that you can send it directly to me. Livio says, yeah. Bryn says, yep. Chris, yeah. Okay, I mean, and I think it's normal, right? So let's talk about the next step. Okay, so hopefully you guys are all here because you realize that you need to go out there and make sales. So the one thing that you need, right? If we're talking about what do we need? It's an automated sales system, right? It's an omnipotent automated sales system. So let's talk about how to get the sales without actually having to do the selling. So let me hit the record button up here, and this is definitely one of the highlights. So let's talk about how to get sales without having to do the selling. And this is super, super important and super vital when you are getting started for mostly 2 reasons, right? The first is that most of you guys aren't sales pros. You're not sales experts. Very, very few people are like closers, right? I'd say like 1 out of like 15 or 20 people, well, maybe 1 out of 10, I don't know. I'm just guessing here, right? Are just natural born closers. But guess what? I'm not one of them. And so I had to be able to figure out what was the system, what was the way to be able to get these people excited to pay me money. And so that's what we're going to talk about, is how to get sales without actually having to do the selling. And so what we're going to talk about is a couple of options and a couple of strategies. And the first one that I want to present to you is the alternative, right? And it's actually what I did back when I was building my first business, my sales business. And it's also what a lot of other influencers and these other quote unquote agency experts are suggesting for people to do to grow their business. And that's to go out there. And if we want, if we want to get a ton of messages out there, if we want to make a ton of phone calls, okay, cool. Let's go out there and hire a bunch of people. And that's what I did. At one point, at the largest point, I had over 120 people directly reporting to me, directly. And because we grew so quickly and because we scaled so fast, there was no time to build any middle managers. There was no time to build any middle level people who had the skill or the competence to be able to effectively manage people. And so now I had 115 people that I had to manage, right? And now I wasn't doing what I love to do. I wasn't doing what my passion was. I was being a therapist. I was being a counselor. I was being a manager. I was being a human resource person because I built this massive organization of people. And I remember there was one day, and it was in the summer, I was living out in Palm Springs, where I woke up and I went out to the pool, and from 9 a.m. till about 3 p.m., I was on the phone nonstop. Literally, I would just plug in my phone. We had Wi-Fi by the pool, and I would just call from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you guys ever looked at your call log, usually your call log, my call log now, since I've been online, goes back to, since I'm working online, goes back to like weeks now. But imagine back then, my call log, it went back like 45 minutes. That's how many calls I made within however long it was, right? It was 45 minutes, and it took me that, and I made that many phone calls. Some people didn't answer. Some people, the conversations were longer than others. But my point is that it wasn't manual labor. But guys, I don't know if you've ever made 100 phone calls yourself. I don't know if you've ever dialed for multiple hours on end. It is not fun. It's not, and like, not only that, right? Like people are not fun. I mean, there are some people love people and some people are people, but most digital marketers, most agency owners, most internet marketers are like the fact that they get to just work at home and they get to work by themselves and they get to work and do their own thing. So now all of a sudden you tell a digital marketer, you tell an agency owner that she has to manage 20, 30, 40, 50 people that are supposed to be making phone calls, and they're now paying people minimum wage. My point is just that there is that alternative, right? And a lot of other agency owners, there are selling courses telling people, hey, go hire, like it's a course on how to hire and train and pay people to make phone calls for you. It's the funniest thing. But anyways, that's what I did back then. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that ever again. Like that's 2018 manual labor right there. Now, don't get me wrong. I poured cement last week with my uncle and my dad. So manual labor for real is real. And I'm not trying to downplay those people who are out there sweating, doing legit manual labor. But making cold calls for hours for a digital marketer might as well be manual labor. And so that's what I want to share is what we're going to say not to do, right? We're going to tell you, how to create a system that avoids all that stuff. So is anybody down for that? Is anybody down to learn that? And here's what it is, right? So it's an automated sales system. And when we talk about how it all fits together, or what it actually is, I'm going to stop the recording because I need to gather my thoughts here. And I encourage you guys to ask questions if you guys have any while I collect my thoughts on, okay, well, Hector, you just told me I don't need to pay a bunch of people. You just told me I don't need to do all that. You just told me I don't need to do manual, digital manual labor, okay? You told me that I don't have to do that. So what do I do, right? So what do I do? That's essentially what we're gonna talk about now. And let's see, Alt. I want to hit the record again. There we go. So, oh, we got some people on. Jimmy, Kevin, Nico, Tarek, Darla, what up? Thanks for guys dropping on. Drop your questions in the chat if you got any. And for those of you guys who got on late, we're going to be giving away my sales training. Yeah, there's going to be no opt-in. Literally, I'm just going to give you a link to the Google Drive where you can download over 5 hours of my sales training, where I actually talk about like how to close, how to do all these things, how to qualify, right? Like literally, like, you know, the in-depth of like on the pitch. You get my templates, you get all. Anyways, stick around to the end, you get all that stuff. All right, let's keep moving. Woo! I'm such a loser for getting excited about this stuff. It's all right. I'll be a loser for you. Okay, so let's talk about an automated sales system. And now that we're convinced, right? So now if we're convinced that we need to have an automated sales system, you're like, okay, Hector, yes, you're right. I'm not going to be the one making these phone calls. I'm not going to be the one knocking on these doors. I'm not going to be the one doing all this manual digital labor. I'm not going to be doing that. You're right. So what do I do? Okay. Well, here's what you need to do, right? What you need to do is to create a system that contacts people in a bunch of different ways. And what does that mean? Well, if you think about it, right? If you think about the last big movie that you've kind of been aware of, right? Whatever that movie is, throw that down in the chat. Like, what's the last big movie promotion that you guys have been like just aware of, right? Like I don't really pay attention a whole lot, but I think about, like, for me, when The Incredibles 3 came out, like it was really, really interesting because, or with Incredibles 2, whatever it was, right? Incredibles 2. It was really interesting because I was driving by the airport, right? And then all of a sudden I saw a billboard, and then all of a sudden I logged into my phone and I saw an ad, and then all of a sudden there was a YouTube ad. And then all these different places, I started seeing the Incredibles commercial, or the Incredibles trailer, and did that make me want to see it? Like, obviously, right? And so that same kind of thing is necessary with your business, right? That same kind of thing is necessary when you guys are trying to get someone's attention, right? So Micah talks about the Avengers, right? And you think about, the Avengers and how they market it, right? There's billboards, there's commercials, they do, celebrity endorsement and tweets, and there's people talking about it on Instagram, and it is this whole cultural kind of experience that happens. And then obviously on Friday, even people who aren't, on that Friday when it comes out, even people who aren't, Avenger fans, they know that it's coming out. Right now, it's not for them. They're not in the target market. It's not worth their, whatever it is, they've qualified and selected themselves out. But those people know that is an opportunity. And so similarly, that's what we're talking about, is creating that omnipotent, right, that omnipresent ability for people to be able to, businesses specifically, to be able to interact with you. So imagine this, right? Imagine this. A business owner, right? They open their phone, they wake up in the morning, right? And they get to their office and they see an email. They see an email from Crystal Campo, right? And then they read the email and they go on with their day. But then later on after that, they get a text message, right? And it says, hey, this is Chris. I sent you an email earlier, right? If you wanted to see what it was about, click this link. And they go on with their day. Maybe they click the link, maybe they don't. But then they get a phone call a little later and they see, oh, it's Chris, and they ignore it, right? Boom. But then they get a voicemail, right? Then they get a voicemail. And now all of a sudden they're like, well, let me see what this guy has got. And then they hear in the voicemail, hey, if you just want more info, text 1 back to this number, or text yes back to this number, and my system will just send you back info. So then they just text that number back and they go yes, because they're laying in bed and they're bored, and they get yes. And then that system just goes, hey, welcome, and it says their name, and it says, thanks for, we can definitely help out your business, and it throws in their business name, and it says, if you'd like, to see what it is that we do for businesses, click this link here. And then boom, they click the link and it takes them to the web page. And then a web page is fully customized, and it says, hey, Dave, we want to work with, and then it has their company and it has a little sales video, and then underneath, if they want to be able to get more information, they're able to submit their info. But the nice thing is that because this is the system, it already has their information already set up, right? So the information's already filled in. It has their name and it has their phone number, and it says if you want, to talk to Chris right now and you want to get info right now, just submit your info and it'll call, it'll connect us on a call. And then boom, he's going through all of this. He submits his information, he hits the button, and then Chris, wherever Chris is, gets a phone call and says, oh, hey, here's this person, right? And now that person had no idea who Chris was, but now found out who Chris was because we got in front of him in 3 different places, was able to, in an automated fashion, get that information back, get that sales collateral, that sales information back to him without Chris necessarily having to respond. And then that person took the action to actually hop on a phone call with Chris, and it called Chris when that person wanted to. And so now when Chris hops on the phone, that person comes in a totally different place, in a totally different mindset, and is a much more qualified client and a much more qualified prospect to spend your time with. So what if you could just set up a system, you could run some campaigns, and then your job was just to hang out on the beach. Your job was just to hang out on the beach and wait for your phone call to ring, your phone to ring. Your job was just to hang out and wait for you to get text messages of when people were on your website so you could hop on and close them, right? What if that was now your job? Well, that's essentially what an automated sales system does, is it combines all of these different facets of outreach, and it puts them into a system that that communicates with each other, right? So that they are all coordinated towards one goal. So that's what's really cool, is you can now send a text message, you can make an automated phone call, you can send an email, you can personalize your videos, you can your websites, you can personalize your link. All of these things are now possible, and you don't actually have to be doing them. You can set it up and then you can just let it run. And so when I think about like for us, what do we do? Okay. So for us, a very, very simple 2-step system that we do, right, is we run robo-contact campaigns, and we generate emails and contact us forms. And our main goal is we want to submit as many contact us forms, and we want to drive them to our sales page. And then we drive them to our sales page, and on that sales page, there's actually a sales video that explains our services and explains what it is that we do. And then what's great about it is that if they're interested, and only if they're interested, well, then they actually self-schedule a time for us to pitch them. And then when we hop on with that client, with that customer to pitch them, we know they're qualified, we know they're motivated, we know they're interested, and so now we can actually close the deal and we can sign them as a client. And so it can be as simple as that, right? But what it incorporates is it incorporates text messages, it incorporates phone calls, it incorporates emails, and you sell people through your sales videos, through your sales pages, you can even use a PDF. But the key point is, you'll notice that we're not selling, at least personally, we're not spending any of our time with people until they have gone through this process. And this is why it works so well. This is why it's so valuable for agency owners who are just going to start. All right, I'm going to take a break here, see if there's any questions. I'm going to stop that recording. All right, what are you guys learning in here? Is anybody learning anything? Chris says there's no escape, keep persistent. Here's the thing, right? Persistence is so important. You're absolutely correct. But willpower is finite, right? The ability to consistently do something over and over again is finite. And a lot of marketers and a lot of entrepreneurs especially are drawn to that because of the ability to be unique, to be creative. And frankly, making and just even just the habit of dialing the phone and literally like the mental willpower that it takes to dial 1-847, boom, 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 like that right there is just mind numbing, right? So even if the system will just dial for you and you just sit there and get to talk, that is so much easier because your decision making is taken out of it, right? And so a lot of people don't realize that willpower, just the ability to continue and persist is hard. And whether that people, and a lot of times it's not like, and I'm kind of ranting and rambling here, but whatever, it's not recording. But a lot of people are, at least the highlights aren't recording. Most people won't realize that they are giving up. Most people won't realize that they're quitting. They'll disguise it as a distraction. They'll disguise it as a challenge. They'll disguise it as they're hungry or some other bullshit reason why they can't keep making the phone calls or whatever, right? So I think that it's so important for you to realize that not only is the value, okay, I can do a lot of this. I can send out a lot of messages. I can send out a lot of phone calls. But now not only does it save me time, but that time would have required willpower, right? And so you as an agency owner now get to essentially create a funnel for your clients, right? And this funnel can incorporate all of these different things: phone calls, messages, emails, things like that. All right, what's next? I got a couple of notes in here, so let's go through these. So I will send you guys a workbook that you guys can have as part of this training that talks about what these systems are. And I'll just read them to you. I know you can read. But automated sales system is two things, right? It's the strategy and the software, right? So we talked about that the system is phone calls, emails, text messages, web pages, PDFs, all of those things, right? That is like a series of online tools that you'll need, but then you also need the strategy of what to actually say in those things. So it's the combination of how do I send out these messages and then what am I actually saying? When you put those together, that's where you have a sales system. Now, I mentioned that this is most effective when you're targeting businesses and selling a service, and that's because at least our tools, the ones that we have, allow you to gather in mass different businesses based on their industry, based on their location, based on the website, based on their how recently they bought a website. So that's what's most effective when using the ASS. And the ASS, right, I kind of already mentioned it, but you need a ton of leads. So you need a consistent source of leads because we're doing cold outreach. So not everybody's going to say yes. Not everybody's going to respond. Not everybody's going to want what you have to offer. Not everybody's going to be able to afford what it is that you have to offer. And that's okay. Because when we're selling a service, when we are targeting other businesses, it now makes it profitable enough for us to do and to have these types of systems because the margins on the other end for digital marketing stuff are so high, right? The largest thing that you have to invest is obviously for softwares and tools, things like web pages or hosting or whatever, pro accounts. But essentially the margins lie in marketing, in your ability and knowledge to do these other, systems, right? Like Facebook ads aren't hard to do. It's just a lot of people don't know how to do them. That's why people get paid. So we utilize places like Google Maps, Yelp, GoDaddy, right? And you can even attach these systems to Facebook ads, or you can even incorporate things like chatbots into these automated sales systems to really make them even more not elaborate, but to even make them more involved. Okay, we talked about it before. You use voice, text, and email. Okay, and the best ones, the best asses, all right, incorporate multiple outreach methods. That should go on a shirt, and people will be like, "What are you talking about?" But I think that would be a funny shirt. The best asses incorporate multiple outreach methods: phone calls, emails, contact us forms, text messages, right? Stop bys, direct mail, all of it. Boom. All right, let me hop in here. We're losing people. Is anybody lost? Anybody need saving? Anybody need help? What are you guys learning? What are you guys learning? Throw that down there, okay? So hopefully my first goal, and I guess maybe it took a little longer for it to happen, is that you need more clients, right? And that you, and also you probably know that. If you didn't know that already, then you're in the wrong place. But what I want to share, and hopefully you get from this, is that you need to spend more time getting clients, right? You need to spend more time, or you need to have a system, ideally, right? A system that does it for you. And systems can either be done by people or they can be done by tools and software. But that's really what we're looking for, is this system that's doing these things, okay? So here's the steps, right? If we want to talk about the steps of an automated outreach system. So here are the steps of the ASS, okay? There's 5 steps to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 steps to every automated sales system, excuse me. Step number 1, okay, is you got to have a lead source. And we talked about that. We get our stuff from Google Maps. We get ours from Yelp, right? We have tools that literally will go out and hit Yelp's API. We'll go out and search Google Maps. We'll hit their API and get all of their data, right? If we have time, we'll show you guys a little bit later how that works. But we have that stuff that can gather all of that data. But then we mentioned a little earlier, we don't want to be hopping on the phone with everybody, right? So what we've got to do is we've got to find a way to filter out the ones that are actually motivated, the ones that are actually interested. So after we reach out to them, right, we've got to find a way to engage and qualify. So this is where we send them a message, we send them an email, we send them a contact form, right? We submit a contact form automatically. And what we're doing is we're asking them to engage back with us, because that's going to start the process, right? We're asking them to engage back with us because that's going to show that they're interested. And it's really important that our copy, it's really important that our offer, it's really important that our ask, that our everything is really in alignment with these things, so that we make it easy and what we call slippery for people to go through this process. So we don't ask people to call us back. We say, hey, text us back, yes. Just respond back, yes, right? If you want info. We don't make people go through elaborate application processes right away. We make them click on a website, and then we make them watch a sales video or read some sales copy, and then submit their info, right? And because we have a lot of their information already, we don't need to ask them for any extra info. All we need to do is we need to qualify them by talking about the services that we provide, right? By doing a sales video, sales copy, by actually being, forthcoming with information and value. And then we also need to ask questions of these people so that we can find out which ones are the right ones. And so we can also create an opportunity for the ones who aren't motivated, who aren't engaged, who aren't interested, who aren't really, really the ones you want to be talking to, for them to fall out of the funnel. In this case, it's actually an okay and a good thing for people to fall out of the funnel. Now, you're going to want to have some people go through the whole thing, but that way, by the time we get to the end, and by the time we get to the pitch, we're only talking and we're only pitching people who are, as my mentor Joe Polish would say, pre-qualified, pre-motivated, pre-interested, and predisposed to be giving you money. And when you do that, it makes it all the worthwhile for you to be having these systems. Woo. All right. So should we show you how Should we show you how to do it? What if we can show you how an outreach system would work, right, in less than, can we do it in less than 3 minutes? All right, let's do it. All right. So I want to show you how you can create an automated sales system with just one tool. So I'm going to hop in here and I'm going to go to my good old RoboContact. And RoboContact is like, it's like a dagger. It's like a sales automation dagger. Okay. And the reason I say that is it does a couple of things incredibly, right? It does a couple of things just absolutely, it's fantastic. So when I do that, what I can do is I've ran some campaigns in the past. So if I go in here and I look in my campaigns, I've ran some real estate campaigns in here. So I can go in and I can view this campaign. And you'll notice here, I gathered 293 leads from real estate agents in these 3 different areas. I sent out 80 different emails, and it looks like I sent out a bunch of other messages. Looks like we don't know exactly how many contact us forms went out, but I sent out a bunch of messages, which is nice. Now let me show you how easy it was to do. So let's go here and let's go in campaign, and I'm going to create a campaign, and I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to go in campaign, and what's going to happen is let's just do real estate, and then I'm going to do inland. No, let's just do Los Angeles. So then in here, I'll do location. I will do, I'm going to do Santa Monica, okay, because that's a really hot bed. I'm also going to do, what else? Well, this is a big area. We'll just do Los Angeles because there's a lot of just areas that are covered by Los Angeles. And then we'll do Brentwood because that's a really nice area. Brentwood, California, okay? And then I'm going to do in here real estate. And then I'm also going to do realtor, okay? And then I'm going to have in my my real estate agents, I have email messages that are already set to go out, okay? So test, fitness, general outreach, profile, oops. This is the one I want. Actually, let's just go in here and make sure. Contact us messages. General outreach. Which one did I make most? Okay, this is the one. Boom, boom, boom. So general outreach, profile group, we'll use mine. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send email when form is not submitted, right? And I'm going to run them, and then I'm just going to search, and it's just going to go. And then right now what's happening is it's searching for all of the real estate agents in these 3 different areas. It's going to send them an email if they have an email on their website, and it's also going to submit their contact us form if it has that, if they were able to do that as well. So you'll notice that all of these emails got sent out, right? So these emails all got a message. These emails all got a message, right? Every single one of these emails were automatically sent a message. And if they had a contact us form, you'll notice here, form sent, form sent, form sent, form sent. So all of those contact us forms were actually sent. And if I want to go back and follow up with these people, what I can do is I can go and I can track this stuff. So I can go and I can see who's actually opening it, right? I can see who's actually interacting with these different things. And now I'm able to have a growing list of interested prospects. And because I send them to a website, right, that has all of that stuff I talked about, I'm able to only have to talk to the ones that actually want to pay for my services. Doo-doo. That was 4 minutes. Took a little longer than I wanted to. All right. Boom, boom, boom. RoboContact is definitely lit, Chris says. Okay. Kevin says, what's your message content? Did they open it? Did they replay? My message content, right, is, hey, here's the offer that we have. Here is our, here's the offer that we have, and it sends them, if it's sending a contact us message, we send them a link directly to our sales page, asking them or telling them about our offer. So usually our offer will be, if you want us to send you free, patient inquiries, or for real estate agents, if you want us to send you free buyer leads, or if you want us to set up your automation system for free or something like that, that's what it would say in the message. Click here, and then the sales page would sell on that. It's important to keep it short, definitely important to keep it short. And with emails, you don't want to send links in the initial message, right? That's just a little tidbit for you. Kevin says there are a lot of duplicated emails. Sure, right? And so what you'll be able to do is your goal is to remember, just find the initial outreach. And so Kevin, when you see someone who opens these things, right? When you see someone who interacts with this stuff, you're able to follow up with them, right? You're able to now get them on a phone call them. Yes, Kevin, call them, right? Because remember, this is a one-step system, right? This is a one-step system, and the more elaborate the systems are, the better your percentages are, right? But here's what Brent says, what's your averages send versus interested contacts in percentage? It's different for everyone, and it's also, when we look at people who are using these tools, a lot of them are not doing what I mentioned and are not utilizing it's something I talk about in our accelerator program, but it's really the like what to say in those messages, right? And I always go for the 1% rule, right? In cold outreach, I'm trying to get 1 out of 100 to say yes. So let me record this because I think this will be good. So in cold outreach and with these systems, I'm looking for 1% to convert. And that is even at each level, right? Because if I haven't been doing these things a while, if I've never done cold outreach, if I've never done cold texting, if I've never done cold IVR, if I've never done cold any of this, for me to hop in and for me to expect me to have above average results or for me to get results right away is naive, because in like any field, and I'm talking to you, Kevin, specifically, right? Because I love you, but your expectations of what you receive back from what the amount of effort and the amount of time and the amount of iterations that you put in is going to dictate the level of success at which you get, right? So what does that mean? Well, I've been doing sales since I was 17 years old. I've been selling stuff every single day for the last 10 years. So yes, my messages naturally are going to probably convert at maybe a little bit higher because I understand marketing psychology maybe a little bit more. I understand stuff. Now, that's not to say that you can't learn these things or not to say that you can't improve it. But what I am saying is that at each stage, you are looking to improve and iterate on that. So let's talk about that, right? The 1% rule. So if I'm sending out a message, I should look to get 1 out of 100 people to respond back yes. I should look to get 1 out of 100 people to click on my link. I should look to get 1 out of 100 people to take that next step. And I know that if I get 1 out of 100, then I know that at least I can move to the next step of the process, right? I can move to the next phase. Now, if I'm not getting 1 out of 100 people to at least respond back yes, then I know I've got to change my message. I've got to change and alter my messaging. I've got to change these things. Now, don't forget, you also have to take enough shots at the basket. So if you are not running these things consistently, or if you are not making adjustments at each step along the way, then you're not doing it the right way, right? And so I can, this is hard to explain I think this is a great question, but it's hard to explain in an hour-long thing, especially in these 10 minutes where I'm taking Q&A. So what's important is to realize the steps. And okay, we've got 1 out of 100. All right, awesome. Let me move to the next step. And because specifically for our tools, I can't speak to what other people do, or I can't speak to if you're going to be doing it manually, or I can't speak to if you're going to be going out and paying a VA to do this. But because with the click of a button, I can generate hundreds and I can generate thousands of leads, it now makes it easy for me to send. I don't have to pay for traffic. In order to send people through this funnel, in order to test if it works, I don't have to pay anything other than the tools that I have. So I send enough people through it. So the first step is realizing, okay, 1 out of 100 should make it to the next step. then what is my next step? Okay, my next step is, all right, I'm going to try and get these people to my landing page, right? And I'm going to get, okay, now I need to get 100 people to the landing page, and I should see if one converts and if one schedules an appointment. All right, cool. So now I've got 1 out of 100, right? Actually website visitors to get there. Now I've got 1 out of 100. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to try and get, now ideally at this point, you shouldn't have to go through 100 sales presentations to be able to close the client, right? Because they've already qualified themselves. But that's how I look at it. And for a brand new, for a beginner, then I'm looking at that 1% rule, right? And not even through the whole thing. I'm not looking at, okay, I got 100 leads, I should get 1 client. No. I got 100 leads, I should get 1 of them to be interested. That's what I should have. I should be 1 of them to be interested. And then I should run the system enough, right? So that, okay, let's say I run 100 contacts through it today, and I get 1 interested person back. Okay, well tomorrow let me do it again. And now I got 1 interested person tomorrow, and then I do it on Wednesday, and then I get 1, and then by the end of the week I've got 7 interested people, right? And this is just at the very basic, at just 100 searches, 100 contacts a day, and just having, okay, now I've got 7 interested people. Okay, cool. Now at the rate that I mentioned, that the 1%, it's going to take a little longer if you just do only 100 per day. But that's why I would encourage you to utilize different methods, utilize different mediums. And what you'll quickly find, the reason that I say that 1% is you'll quickly find if you adjust, if you iterate. Now, Kevin says his next question was, how do I promote to an insurance company? Okay, how do you promote to an insurance company? You have to know what they want. You have to talk to them. You have to speak their language. You have to be able to know the problems, the challenges, the desires that these business owners are having, right? You need to actually get out there and have these conversations, or you need to do the research, go into the forums, look on the blogs, read the things that this industry is talking about, right? Because a lot of people go, oh, I'm thinking about you, Kevin. You know I love you, but the problem is you ask the same questions, and I haven't seen any progression into the next step of questions. It's always like, well, what, like, so what I'm saying is, okay, now I'm thinking about devil's advocate here, right? Now, Kevin, I know you're like me, and I don't like talking to lots of people. I don't like going out, and I don't like personally dealing with lots of people. So for me, when I do research, I look on the forums, I look on blogs, I look on Angie's List, I look on Facebook groups, I look in Reddit, I look on all of these different places on the internet where these people are talking about this industry. And I try and see, there's 2 things. There's bullshit they're dealing with, and there's things they're trying to achieve. Those are the 2 things that you care about. What's the bullshit they're dealing with? That's what you're helping them avoid. What are they trying to achieve? That's what you're helping them to get. And if you can figure that out for any niche, for any industry, now it's different, right? It's different for every niche, different for every industry. You talk about insurance company, right? Well, for insurance company, here's my challenge. What does that mean, right? I'm going in on you, Kevin, because you've been around for a little while, and I love you, right? Because you seem to be able to take this, right? But that shows me that you haven't even done the research, because what is an insurance company, right? How would you promote it? Are you talking about an insurance agent? Are you talking about a broker? Are you talking about an IMO? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about, because I have no idea. So for you, the way that you promote to any niche, to any industry, is you've got to spend some time figuring out what their bullshit that they're going through, right? Med spas, dentist practice, doctors, those people having problems with their front desk, right? Inefficiencies, they need more patients. So the challenges is that right? So if you know the challenges, then you can know what their problems are. If you know what they're going for, you can help them be the solution. Woo. All right. I was recording that. Good. All right, guys, we're at 12:56, so I'm going to hang out for another 4 minutes, see if you guys have any questions, and then otherwise, a lot of you guys have just great questions that, frankly, I couldn't get into in an hour training, and so if you guys want to stick around and learn about the Accelerator program. I talked about that Richard's in, John's in, Chris Ocampo's in, and that's just really where literally every week we have a 2-hour just training, and our people get to hang out. And it's not always going to be 2 hours, but for the next couple of weeks it'll be just, we have in-depth trainings where people just get to hop on and ask. You know, there's no time limit on this stuff. It's not like you know, it's not for a recording or anything. I want to respect people's time on these things, because, you know, we got to be able to move on and implement and execute. So if you guys want to stick around and figure out how you guys can go a little deeper with this stuff, get all the tools I talked about today, then hang out and we'll talk about that as well. I want to get you the sales training though, because I want to. So here's what you guys are going to get. Okay, so let me tile this out so you guys can see. So here's what we put together. So I have 3 days of training. Okay, so there's how long is this? This one, I think this is 2 hours. So there's 6 hours of training. This one is 2 hours. There's almost 7.5 hours of sales training. I have my notes in here so you can walk through my notes. All right. I also have my sample contract in here. We have all of our bot examples. I have our sample sales deck and custom emails that you can use. So because I love you, other people have paid for this stuff. You guys sat through an hour with me. So I'm going to give that to you guys for free as well. Richard, thanks. He says he highly recommends it. So if you guys want to stick around and learn about the Accelerator program, hang out. If you guys don't, then get out of here and go build up your sales system. Go get some sales, get some clients. So I posted the link to the apprentice. Well, that's my sales training. So the link is just a Google Drive there. There's no opt-in, no anything. Go in, download it, pirate it, sell it. I don't care what you do with it. Use it, and we'll do that. 12:59. Okay, so let me talk about our special program, and this is a special invitation to you, because if you guys are watching this, then you guys have somehow found a way to get to this place, right? You've either sat through training, you watch videos, whatever it is, if you've gotten here. And I want to thank you so much for doing that, because it really lights up my day to spend time with the people who want to learn. I think that's what is most important for me, is giving back to people who want to learn. And I've been fortunate enough to have tons of mentors and tons of people who have helped me along the way. And I feel passionately about really giving back now to people who want to grow their marketing agency, who want to build an online business, who want to improve their sales, who see this opportunity on the other side of this thing, you know? And so that's really why I kind of started the Accelerator program. And I'll share that there is a couple of reasons why I thought it was important. And the first thing is this is probably you. I mentioned that there's just no way that we can cover everything that we need to in an hour-long training, in a series of highlight videos. There's just no way to be able to do it. And so what we wanted to do is to create a community of people that were really involved, that were really utilizing these softwares, that were really taking these things to the next level. And that's what we've created, really. And so this is our Sales Automation Accelerator. And it's, like I said, it's a combination of trainings from me, and also the opportunity to get the tools that I mentioned in Tier 5. And guys, it can really be, you know, this easy here. This is from Trina, and she posted this in the group. And she said that she started the 15-day challenge that we did a little while ago. She utilized one of our tools. She sent out 10 leads. She got 4 replies, and she got 1 call, right? I talked about the 1% rule, right? That's 10% rule on, like, that's great. That's amazing. Now it can happen that quickly if you go out there and you utilize these things. But I really wanted this to not be you, right? Because when I was getting started, I saw that there were so many different avenues. There's so many different ways to be able to build an agency. There's so many different opportunities, and I didn't know which one to choose. I didn't know which one was the right one, and I don't know if there is a right one, but I know that there is a right one for different people. And so I just went on a mission to learn as many as I could, and all the different ways. And so that was kind of my goal, was to be able to teach you and show you all the different options here. Now, this was actually a 6-module live program, and we're really, this week is the last week of it. And I mentioned people like Richard, people like Christopher, those are all people who've been in the program over the last 5 weeks. And the great thing is that we're not going to stop making it a live program. It's actually going to be something that these videos are now recorded here. And so when I show you, let me go in here and just show you the outline of all the videos and everything that we've covered so far, right? But week one is really about learning all the different ways that you can get leads, all the different places, how to get them from Google Maps, how to get them from Yelp, how to get them from GoDaddy, how to pick your niche, how to pick your audience, the things you need to figure out before you go out there. Then we talk about text outreach, and we talk about how to utilize text. The next videos, we're talking about voice and how to utilize interactive voice response systems. Then we talk about email, and then we talk about integrations and Zapier and all these different things. And this week I'm excited because it's what I'm most passionate about, and it's actually the sales part of it. So we really tie it all together so that people know fully in depth everything that they need to. And so you'll see here the video, it goes through and you can see everything that we cover. And this is right now where the course is being held. It's going to be eventually put into some nice PDFs and stuff, but I mentioned this is a live, breathing, organic course. And so there's a bunch of bonus resources in here, a bunch of things that we added on, but you'll notice they have access to a bunch of extra bonuses that I'll mention earlier, later on today. But all the videos are right in here so that they can go in and learn and watch at their own kind of leisure, all of these things. We break up all of our videos into smaller bite-sized pieces. Because I mentioned that some of the trainings go for 2 hours, so we wanted to make sure that they're in smaller bite sizes, right? So you're able to see that there's a ton of content in here, right? We have videos, we have visuals, things that make it just easy to implement, assignments, different videos. So I noticed like last week, right, we really starting to get into some flow, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 9 different videos that were added last week, plus they get some free like funnels, share funnels, a bunch of other videos. So it's just we really, when you guys ask all these questions, I'm like, it's in here, right? But that's what's in it, and it's to make sure that this isn't you. And there's a ton of people who have gotten this. Here's someone whose Darla is actually on the call. We just talked about the training and some of the products and stuff. And so it really does work for everybody, whether you are at the beginning of your journey, whether at your end. It's great because if you're looking to scale and you really want to take it to the next level, these systems can help you automate it and really scale your winning strategies already. And if you're brand new, well, now you don't have to hire anybody. Now you don't have to pay a ton on ads or anything like that. It really allows you to be able to create it on your own. The second thing that you get is you get access to all of the softwares. So you get access to all of the softwares that I mentioned for 6 months. And the cool thing is if you already have access to them, then all we'll do is we'll just pause your payments until you guys, until April, I think is when, actually I think it's May now, is until you guys would have to pay again. So you get free access for the next 6 months. So you get RoboContact, I mentioned that. You get Text in Bulk, and Text in Bulk is getting a sweet new look. All of these, by the way, all of these are constantly being updated with new features, and our Sales Automation Accelerator members, they're the ones that have a direct contact and direct ear to our, to our CEO, to the CEO and the creator of these softwares. And so all of the features that people in our accelerator want, they're like, a lot of them are being built now. And so you can see here, I generated almost 20,000 leads for free. That's what you can do here in Text in Bulk. You'll also get access to Invoicing You. This will allow you to create different invoices to get paid, things like that, and allow you to be able to track all that stuff too. So you can see here, It'll allow you to see your sales, right? This was the 6th. That was, Sunday, right? We had, a client come on. So you're able to track all your sales. You're able to see all of your records, all of your stuff, whether they paid, all of those things, right? So you get invoicing you. You also get Link Wizard. We'll have to look at that. I don't know why that's there. Oh, I think it's because we're updating it. So Link Wizard is getting a spiffy new look right here. So this is going to be sweet. So you're able to access the smartest link shortening platform. They're not even short links, they're smart links, right? You can create a short link. You can have a link that goes to multiple, like a round robin link. You can put like a file link where if they click it and they'll be able to access a file. And then you get all those, and then you're able to get access to Magic Zap, which is how you connect them all together, right? How you're able to connect them all together. So Magic Zap is this one here that allows you to integrate them. So all that to say, you get access to all of these softwares for 6 months, which is kind of cool. And we have a couple of unreleased ones that are coming out. In one that's going to be a chatbot builder, one that's going to be I can't even say. So anyways, it's going to be great. You're going to have access to all of those. So that's over $1,000 worth of software per month. So multiply that, by 6,000. That's how much it's worth. These softwares, literally, they do everything. They'll generate your leads. They'll submit your forms. They'll send out your emails. They'll make calls for you. They'll create payment pages. They'll create invoices. You can track your links. And then you can even customize websites. It's all there. So you don't have to use ads, no autoresponders, no CRMs, no any of that stuff. All that gets replaced. So you get all that. Plus, we change these onboarding calls. So if you sign up today, okay, has to be today, has to be on the webinar. All right. I decided I couldn't commit to these, okay? But if you get in today, right, like literally while we're on live, right, and you're on in the program, but if you get in today, I will give you an onboarding call with me. It's a one-on-one call with me. And I had to stop these because I had a little baby who just is crazy when he doesn't have his bottle. And so, but because I want you guys to succeed, I will offer this because it is in here, and I'm a man of my word, that I will give you a one-on-one call if you get in while we are here live on the training. So you'll get a one-on-one call with me. Otherwise, you just get to hang out with me live on our masterminds, once or twice a week for a couple of hours. Plus, you have access to me in Messenger and all that stuff. Because the reality is that info alone is useless, right? Info alone is useless. You can't ask a question to a book. You can't ask a question to a YouTube video. You can't ask a question, to a podcast. And so we wanted to create an opportunity where you are able to ask questions, you could get answers, you could connect, you can network, and you can be in a community of people that are around. So Nico says, is the link here to G Drive? Yep, it should be at the top. And so you get all of it, right? Plus, we're going to give you an integration bundle, which includes just an unlimited Zapier account. So you're able to get unlimited Zapier zaps. It's like a $150 a month value. So you get that for the 6 months as well. You get it all. And you guys already got this, but if you're not here on the live training and you're seeing this on the replay, then you'll also get that sales training I mentioned, which has over 5 hours of sales training, 18 scripts, our contract templates, our sample sales deck, a bunch of other examples that you can use so that you guys can go out there and implement it and start getting sales as well. So you get all of that. Literally, you get the course, which is we have a recorded program, right? And then you're also going to be able to access all the live trainings that we're going to have over the coming weeks. You get access to all the softwares. You get access to the onboarding call. If you get on and you through this video, right, and you're watching this training right now, if you sign up, I will give you a one-on-one call with me. You'll also get a unlimited Zapier account, okay? We'll also give you a free G Suite account, okay, for 2 weeks. And at least for the next 8 people, all right, at least for the next 8 people, I've decided that I'll keep this this deal. It's $498 today, or if you want to do it over a investment option, you can do it over 2 payments of $298. It's 2 investments, $298. And here's how you do it. So let me throw the link in there for anybody who's here live on the chat so you guys can get in. And then Noah, and everybody who's in the training. I will see you guys on the live calls as well. So it's really simple, okay? And there's the link. So it's pretty simple to get in, okay? Here's a lot of the sales copy. We talked about what you're gonna get, all those things in here, okay? And you'll notice in here, you get to select your option. So you can either choose one payment of $498 or two of $298, whatever's easier. And we wanted to make sure that it was available for everybody. And this was because we wanted to make it for the masses, right? And so what's cool is that you'll you have a couple of options here. After you go through, it'll send you access to get access to our outline. You'll also have access to our automation, our group, and then you'll also get access to our to my Calendly where you can schedule our calls. So you'll get access to all of this stuff where you can go in, download the videos, watch them at your own leisure, and all of this is literally less than $300 today. So if you guys want to get in, go ahead and get in. I don't know how much longer the price will be at that. We might make it three months at $298. It might go up. So go ahead and get in. And Nico, send me a personal message and I will get you the link as well. If you guys have any questions about the program, make sure you throw them down there and we will see you in the accelerator. Later, y'all.